let's talk about universal basic income. And you got to give it to the left. They keep trying because they think they're on the right side of history. So this is progress to them. So they'll keep trying and keep trying, until they get it. And I'm pretty sure eventually there is going to be a nationwide universal basic income. Now, LA is doing an experiment, quote unquote experiment, where they're going to pay people $1,000 a month for 3 years. So basically $36,000 in total. And they're going to track people. To me, I mean, even though I'm against it, I want to see a real experiment done, what the effects of universal basic income is. And you'd think that you would have to do, just the $1,000 a month is not, you need to do multiple groups. People get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. You see, you need to see like different levels of, UBI or support, and then to see the actual like events, or actually to see the results and to test people. And also you need to, the thing is here too, they are telling the people that this is going to be a 3-year thing. So basically it's just free money. You're going to get $36,000, but the real universal program, real UBI program is going to be a lifelong thing. So you have to design a test where people are told this is going to be, you're going to get $1,000 for the rest of your life. Then you're going to see the real results. Just like somebody gets welfare or disability payments or whatnot, they change their behavior because they know they're going to receive this money forever from this point on. I don't think you're going to get the real effects of UBI if you just tell people, well, here's some free money, but this is going to be temporary. But it's something. I'm pretty sure they're going to gear the study to think that to show that, oh, look, households are not as strained, not whatever. However, they're only within any kind of basic economics. You have to look at both sides of the ledger. It's not enough to say like, hey, this person got $1,000 a month. They could pay rent. They could pay for childcare, and look how much their lives are better. Well, what about the other side of the equation? Where'd you get that $1,000 a month? Who? This person that had they got it in taxes. Well, this person couldn't spend it on restaurants or bowling alleys or whatever, and therefore there's less jobs or less business, right? There needs to be a comprehensive accounting of the whole thing, instead of just like one ledger, like, oh, look how much good we're doing. And the reason, aside from a moral, ethical dilemma, or like the main reason why I'm against it, is because if you are supporting somebody, they need to come to you. It's like you need to be thanked for supporting somebody, or like when you're giving charity to somebody, it's out of your free will, right? It's not you're going to be taxed, or you're going to be working, you're going to be taxed, and you're going to be, and the charity is going to be given through the government, so the politician get thanked for it, which is really perverse. Part of the what you're destroying is the market signal. Like, if you create bad poetry or bad art or whatever, and people don't want to buy it, that's a signal. Or you have a bad business with bad food, that's a signal. You have less customers, and the bank is not going to give you a big loan for your business. And then the opposite is true. If you're doing something that's really helping people it's in demand, you're going to be able to get loans from the bank to help your business along, because the bank can see, people are going to be able to invest in you, right? Same with jobs. If you're like a VHS repairman and there's a ton of VHSs to repair, or like VHS players to repair, perfect, But then as people, you go to like digital DVDs or digital video, well, you have less business, and it doesn't have to be like a government bureau doesn't have to instruct you to quit this business to do this other business. It's like you're going to see your dwindling income, the demand for your services going down. And you're gonna, you know what I mean? It's like a market signal. And it's like these millions and billions of signals are sent out throughout the market, and that's why people can coordinate what they, what they want and what they need and what they need to provide to other people. And this, you are basically putting noise into the whole market system. You're giving people money, but you're giving people money for not providing anything into the market. So it's like if you're doing a good job, you get promoted, you get, people, you're helping a lot of people, there's more business, you get more money. So you can see, oh, I'm gonna get rewarded for doing a good job, for helping a lot of people. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna train other people how to do this, right? And other people see you making all this money, and they're gonna start, trying to imitate you. And then you're gonna have some competition. So your wages are gonna go down. This is like a complicated system, but you're giving people money for basically things. I mean, it's possible that they can do good things and like, oh, you know what I mean? But then it's also possible that, which more likely, it's like they're going to do some things that like the society doesn't need. If people do, like, by paying people, you're making, like, the more, obviously, I'll put it this way. We all know how unassimilated, or how these trust fund kids, how hard they have, or just like how difficult they are, and just all sorts of social problems or whatever, because they never had to work. Well, basically, it's the same thing. Obviously, you're $1,000 a month. You're not going to be a trust fund kid, right? But you're putting people in that type of, you know what I mean? You're already adding to that problem, and not to mention, you can probably sense that this $1,000 that people get, it's probably going to get absorbed by the landlords. Because at this point, rent is the only thing that constrained. I mean, in LA, a lot of these poor families, unfortunately, they pay half of their income in rent. And the prices could even go higher, but the prices don't go higher because there's a limit to how much they can pay, right? Because the landlords, or people, just the landlords, or just the market in general, people trying to set any producer trying to set the price as high as they can, but they're constrained about the actual, what the people can pay, so that they lower the price. Well, you just add another $1,000 to the family's budget, well, they can pay another $1,000. So probably $500, $600, $700. Well, they'll probably pay more in rent, because, hey, the families can rent. So all this just in general, it's so unethical, it's so bad. But I mean, I could totally see if they start increasing this UBI. You can see just not even like people just move out of LA, or just have like living in a desert. It's like a slab city where people are just like playing video games, smoking meth in trailers or whatever, and just have drones drop by like canned goods and like macaroni and like ramen noodles, and they to pay for things with their universal basic income. So let's get into the article here. Dozens of residents lined up in South LA to apply for Breathe, LA County's guaranteed income program. Like, I have to work. I have to provide. I have to exchange my time and labor for money. I can't breathe. The state's latest universal basic income program. The program will provide $1,000 to 1,000 Los Angeles residents every month for 3 calendar years through a debit card provided by the county. To qualify, residents must be at least 18, have a household income below $56,000 for a single person, or $96,000 for a family of 4. Researchers are using these pilot programs to see what happens when a range of people are sent payments that guarantee basic living. But critics warn of a possible downside. People relying on fixed income can be discouraged from joining the workforce. Oh, you don't say? And I want to dispel another economic myth that Walmart or McDonald's, they take advantage of these. They take advantage of these government programs. That's like food stamps and all these assistance, because if there weren't these programs, those people wouldn't be able to work for so cheaply. But actually, I thought I had that idea as well. But I was listening to an economist, and they really like spelled it out that it's wrong. The more the government provides somebody, and alleviates their, provides for all the basics or whatever and gives them money, the more welfare they get, the less incentive they have to work. And it's obvious, the more you crank up the welfare, if you give, instead of 1,000, get a 5,000, 6,000, well, nobody who's going to be, if you get $6,000 a month UBI, who's going to be working at McDonald's, right? So it's the opposite. The companies like McDonald's and Walmart, or Amazon, they have to pay more to entice people who are on welfare to come and work, to make it worth their while. So I'm sure a lot of these, a version of the UBI program, which was popularized by a former Democratic presidential candidate, Andrew Yang, has gained more attention after the pandemic idled millions of workers. And just Andrew Yang, basically what he was saying just turned out to be completely flat wrong. He was talking about automation, AI, computers taking all the work, therefore people are going to be left, jobless. And yet, how many years ago, is that 4 years ago that he ran? We had so much more automation that happened. And surprise, surprise, we have the tightest, the best labor market for workers in known recorded history. Like, everybody's looking for workers. Is it because of the government just handed out so many stimulus checks that people just saved all that money and don't have to work for now? Or a bunch of older people retire. I don't know why there's a worker shortage right now, but looks like it was just from the pandemic money. Last October, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has announced the launch of a $31 million universal basic income pilot that would give $500 a month to low income family. See, this 500, I don't think is going to be statistically significant. You need to do tests with 2 if you want to find out. Unfortunately, a lot of these people, they have a political agenda, and they're not going to conduct this survey as in a super scientific way. But I would love for completely unbiased, neutral scientists to conduct this research and do bigger amounts, 500,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. See how it changes. Maybe I would assume after a certain amount of money, around maybe $4,000 or $5,000, people are going to cut back on work drastically. But it makes sense, as they should. New York City, a pilot program giving payments of $1,250 to as many as 40 homeless people between 18 and 24 for 2 years. 40 homeless people. That's such a shitty sample size. There was no strings attached. Was announced during the summer. And are these homeless people with mental drug issues? Recipients can request how they want their money, such as incremental payments or in the form of crack rock. Upfront cash, as they have no limits as how they can spend it. LA County Board Supervisor Chair Holly Mitchell, who formally opened the application period at Tuesday lunch event at CBS Los Angeles program, is an attempt to figure out how to reduce systemic poverty by providing people with a minimal income to take care of their families. Well, that's nice. Mitchell said funding for these programs comes from the government and a number of foundations, and it will be overseen by the LA County Poverty Alleviation Initiative and research team from University of Pennsylvania Center. Pretty sure. Just look at the budget. What the American, just giving people welfare does not. I've seen some statistic that the American U.S. government spends so much on welfare. If they would have just given the money directly, there would be no poverty, or technically anybody in poverty. Since 2019, around 40 mayors have either started or considered or successfully launched a guaranteed income program. But critics warn of a possible downside. People relying on a fixed income can become discouraged from joining the workforce. Is that the only downside here? Oh, look, there's a list. 40 cities across the U.S. Guaranteed income scheme for the poorest residents. Tacoma, Washington, St. Paul, Minnesota. Oh, St. Paul is going to be a complete basket case. South Carolina, Compton, Newark, New Jersey, LA, Oakland, Long Beach, Wisconsin, California, Colorado, Maryland, and Massachusetts. Yeah, I mean, this is all bad news. It's like, this is all just going to breed dependency on the government. And why would you tax people who are working to subsidize people not to work? I mean, you can't think of like a worse situation.